cold brew.
Hi, I'm Evan A. Fline. I'm one of the founders of Seattle Strong Coffee. I'm also joined by Emily over here, Emily Thielen. And we are the two co-founders of Seattle Strong Coffee. A little bit about the history of our company. We were founded out of the University of Washington, out of the entrepreneurship program. We both went to school at UW under Foster for the entrepreneurship track. And we actually took a class that helped us build a company. The class in that program is called Create a Company. It's a 2-quarter class. The first quarter, you find a group of people, you come up with an idea, you write a business plan, and then you actually pitch for funding from UW. UW gives you initial startup funding, somewhere between $1,000 and $3,000, and you have enough money to create your initial inventory, start your idea, and then the second quarter, you run the business and are essentially judged by the amount of profit you give back to that fund to fund future classes. So that is essentially the start of where Seattle Strong started, is where we saw this problem in this class in cold brew. And the problem with cold brew is that all of the offerings in this space were either very dark and bitter, they were using over-roasted beans, they weren't emphasizing the flavors and profiles that cold brew could have, or they were using a ton of cream and sugar to drown out that flavoring. And so that's where we came in. For the class, we started a small business. We did an initial run of cold brew coffee to create that balanced cold brew, to create that center cold brew that had a smooth, easy to drink taste without any cream and sugar and with fresh roasted beans. And so that was our solution, is a premium, healthy, smooth Seattle cold brew coffee. With premium, we use small batch roasted, fresh roasted beans. We brew within 72 hours of roast. All of our batches are small batches as well. We wanted to emphasize the clean caffeine of coffee. It's something that we drink every day, and it's something that we appreciate about 1 million cups, that they value that. And then to have no additives, essentially no calories, it's coffee, and lower acidity. So to help people that essentially can't drink that bitter, acidic drip coffee, can actually drink cold brew coffee. And then smooth, something that is easy to drink. Whether you need to add cream or sugar, we wanted to at least make it less. We wanted those balanced, smooth, nutty and chocolatey notes, and we want it to be founded in Seattle. We want it to be rooted in Seattle's coffee culture, and the history, the rich history of Seattle as kind of a pioneer in the coffee space. So that's what we did. This is our initial product. This is Seattle Strong's cold brew coffee. It's a 12-ounce bottle. We did this for about 1.5 years with bottles, and kind of a timeline of that first brew was a little over 2 years ago. On April 17th, that was our first brew of Seattle Strong coffee. During our senior years of college, that next year, we passively ran the business. We went out, we sold, we got distributor relationships, and while we were still in classes, while we were doing other internships, weren't taking any money out of the business. We put everything back into the business, used that to be our runway, so that in June, almost exactly a year ago, we went full-time on this company. We used that runway. I'm happy to say that today we are cash flow positive, so we survived. And a big moment in time was when we did our first canning run. In the past, we could do 500, 1,500 bottles at a time, no issue, no problem. Whereas now we're looking at 8 to 15,000 cans in each run. So we have to really figure out that kind of inventory projections, inventory management. It's been a huge learning curve. But to help us with that, we also did UW's Jones Foster Accelerator. So we completed that earlier this year and received some solid grant funding as well. And now we're just focusing on building this company. Which brings us to our current offering. This is our flagship Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. Perfectly balanced and smooth, no cream, no sugar, no additives. Very caffeinated, it's very effective. But as we built a brand, we realized we needed to explore these other spaces. We needed to have an offering. And so our initial second flavor was the Nitro Dirty Chai, a lightly sweetened cold brew coffee in that sweet space with a mix between that same cold brew coffee and just a lightly sweetened chai tea. So it's only 75 calories for the full 12-ounce serving. It's about 1.5 times the caffeine of drip, and there's no cream. So that brings us to our brand. As we've been growing and figuring out what we want to be in the space, we are the cold brew company. That's what we focus on. We're a cold brewer first. We also roast, but how we look at this space is a lot of other roasters are essentially roasters first and cold brewers second. We are cold brewers first and roasters second. We want to focus on cold brew as a segment, and we want to show people what cold brew is meant to be and what this segment is capable of. And so our mission is to energize innovation and action with what cold brew is meant to be. We want to emphasize innovation and action because we want intentional action. We don't want to be an energy drink. We want to be a source of energy for people to do what they need to do, and to be intentional about it, to be effective, and to be clear and forward-thinking. These are also the values that we've had since day one and that we're growing with. We want to focus always on the craft of our product, just a smooth, high-quality, refreshing product. To focus on the caffeine direct from coffee, no other additives, types of things to provide energy, to focus on the coffee itself, and then just the culture of Seattle. Everything that in Seattle represents, upholds, and especially in relation to coffee in that district. So this is our business now, is we sell cold brew coffee. We are growing in retail. This is essentially our business model. We produce quality cold brew. We prefer to work with distributors with refrigeration and distribution so that we can go sell on behalf of them to retailers and offices. And then the retailers and offices want to offer this quality cold brew coffee as either a product or a perk. So I'm happy to announce that we have been pretty successful with that. We want to put cold brew where it should be. These are companies that we currently work with, either directly or through a distributor. We're in all of these offices currently in one form or another of our cold brew coffee, and we are continuing to grow. So we're happy to be here with 1 million cups. We're happy to provide cold brew coffee, and we would really appreciate your feedback on what we're doing, what you think of our coffee if you tried it today, and then just thank you for your time.